machina.
Including irrigation programs and climate proofing, so as realize national food security in our land. Zimbabwe is now wheat self-sufficient. The Second Republic has begun the dream of 35,000 balls and establishing village agro-business units. This is said to consolidate national agricultural productivity and food self-sufficiency in our country. Our mining sector grew from 2.8 billion in 2017 to the present 12 billion US dollars. And is propelling socio-economic development and growth. To enhance the participation of small-scale and artisanal miners, my government has established the 10 million mining industry loan fund, while rolling out of more gold centers for heritage. Mr. Speaker, and Madam President, the Second Republic will increase resources dispersed towards the devolution and decentralization program. Priority is being given to projects which improve access and the quality of education, health, roads, water, and sanitation. My administration is committed to industrializing and modernizing the economy, as well as transforming our infrastructure in order to improve incomes and the livelihoods of our citizens. Power supply has significantly improved following commissioning of one-year power station units 7 and unit 8. While arrangements have been made to guarantee stable supply from existing power stations, deliberate investments are ongoing for increased power generation capacity, including removing entry barriers for independent power producers. To enhance connectivity, we continue to upgrade the road network across the country through domestic resources. Similar initiatives are being implemented with regards to rail infrastructure, with focus on recapitalization, rehabilitation, and refurbishment. The tourism sector is on a growth trajectory, registering an increase of 62% in international tourist arrivals during the first half of 2023. My government continues to accelerate the implementation of the Heritage-Based Education 5.0 model aimed at producing goods and services for our country's socio-economic needs. This Science, Technology and Innovation Trust is scaled up science-based education from the primary level up to institutions of higher education. More of our young, talented boys and girls are registering patents in the running viable startups to push our economy. Mr. Speaker, Madam President, the fiscal consolidation measures and reforms have ensured positive fiscal outcomes that are critical for budget stability and sustainability, and lasting macroeconomic stability. Complementary fiscal and monetary policies have positively impacted the attainment of the prevailing stable macroeconomic environment. Going forward, the Second Republic remains resolute in implementing measures that ensure confidence in our domestic currency. Mr. Speaker, Madam President, may I now turn to the legislative agenda, which must combine the parliamentary schedule during this first session of the 10th Parliament. The Mines and Minerals Amendment Bill, Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, Medical Services Amendment Bill, Insurance Bill, and the Private Voluntary Organization Bill, which were outstanding from the 9th Parliament, must be concluded during the first session of this Parliament. Obsolete laws, such as the Frederick Clayton Trust Act, the Service of Documents Act, settled the States Leasing Act, and the War Marriages Validation Act should be repealed under the Repeal of Laws General Amendment Bill. New bills which will constitute the business of the first session include the Persons with Disabilities Bill and the Administration of the States Amendment Bill. The Legal Practitioners Amendment Bill 2023 seeks to streamline the registration process for foreign legal practitioners. Also on the agenda will be the Inheritance and Succession Laws General Amendment Bill 2023, which aligns inheritance and succession laws to the Constitution and international best practice. To give impetus to matters related to climate change, adaptation and resilience, the 10th Parliament is called upon to review the Water Act, the Zimbabwean National Water Authority Act, and the Plant Breeders Act. The much anticipated climate change bill, seeking to regulate greenhouse gas emissions and facilitate low carbon development technologies, should be thoroughly be debated towards strengthening appropriate institutions and funding mechanisms. The Parks and Wildlife Act is being amended, whilst a human wildlife conflict relief fund is being set up to offer monetary benefits to victims of human-wildlife conflict in our communities. Mr. Speaker, Madam President, the Second Republic aims to fully exploit, value, and beneficiate the country's abundant natural resources. In this regard, as industrialization gathers momentum, Parliament must expedite the consideration of the Competition Amendment Bill, Economic Empowerment Bill, Standards Bill, Sugar Production Amendment Bill, and Technical Regulations Bill. Ratification will also be required in respect of the SADC Protocol on Industry and Inter-African Coffee Agreement. Through the Electronic Transactions and Electronic Commerce Bill, Parliament will assist in the establishment of a framework promoting fair, accessible, responsible, and sustainable online transactions. The long outstanding Postal and Telecommunications Amendment Bill must be concluded. Government is committed to providing modern and affordable human settlements for all Zimbabweans. In this regard, the Zimbabwe Construction Contractors Council Bill seeks to establish an authority that will bring sanity in the built environment. Parliament is expected to consider the alignment of the Housing Standards Control Act and the Housing and Buildings Act. The government has made strides towards the centralization of service delivery, including deployment of medical specialists to provincial and district hospitals. The Medical Aid Society's Regulatory Authority, Health Professions Act, Family Planning Council Act, and the Medicines and Allied Substances Control Act will be brought before this august House. The enactment of the National Health Insurance Bill must be expedited to accelerate the establishment of the National Health Insurance Scheme towards universal health coverage. The Minister of Public Service, Labor and Social Welfare is expected to bring the National Productivity Institute Bill, Pensions and Amendment Bill, Occupational Safety and Health Amendment Bill, as well as the Human Resources Practitioners Bill for consideration by this House. Mr. Speaker, Madam President, government is deeply concerned about the increase in the drug and substance abuse, especially among the youth. Measures to tame the scourge by strengthening relevant institutions for effective coordination and the programming of activities will be instituted. Over and above this, government is developing the National Youth Bill, which will be considered during this session. The bill will provide for mechanisms to facilitate mainstreaming of the youth in social, economic, and political spaces, as well as the sustenance of vocational training centers as a house for local community development. I challenge the private sector to play a part in support of our ongoing initiatives for youth development and empowerment. Meanwhile, women play a critical role in nation building, and their contribution to economic growth should never be overlooked. Equally, viable and profitable micro, small, and medium enterprises have a far-reaching impact on our economy as a whole. The Small and Medium Enterprises Act will be reviewed. Additionally, Parliament is expected to approve the Savings and Credit Cooperative Societies Bill to provide for the administration and management of savings and credit cooperative societies. The mainstreaming of community radio stations attests to the Secretary of Public's commitment towards accelerating media reforms. In an endeavor to further open up the airwaves, the Broadcasting Services Amendment Bill should be finalized and amendments to the Zimbabwe Media Commission Act should be passed. Mr. Speaker, Madam President, sport is integral to job creation as well as the promotion of healthy lifestyles. In this regard, the Second Republic is currently developing the Sport, Leisure and Recreation Bill to create an enabling environment for sport and recreation delivery. Through the Sports Integrity Bill, Parliament is expected to assist in the creation of a regulated and a fair sporting environment in our country. Parliament should also consider amending the Lotteries and the Gaming Act for the purpose of its alignment to the Constitution and the incorporation of corporate governance measures as provided for in the Public Entities Corporate Governance Act. Mr. Speaker, Madam President, our political independence came about through the support and solidarity of progressive nations in the region and beyond. Hence, the veterans of the Liberation Struggle Act will be amended to include Botswana as one of the countries that have transit camps during our armed liberation struggle. Non-combatant cadres will be redefined to acknowledge those who played a part in the struggle under this category. Similarly, the National Heroes Act will be amended to redefine categories of heroes, namely National Hero, Liberation War Hero, and Liberation Hero. Amendments to the War Victims Compensation Act will now include recommendations from the geographically Commission of Inquiry report. As Zimbabwe strengthens its cooperation with the international community, the treaty on the prohibition of nuclear weapons, which seeks to complement the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, is expected to be tabled for ratification by the Minister of Justice. Furthermore, radiation safety will be strengthened through the Radiation Protection Amendment Bill. Biological weapons, which were used by the minority racist white settler regime during our liberation armed struggle, armed both combatants and the civilians alike. The Biological Warfare Bill will criminalize the use of such weapons by giving effect to the Convention on Biological Warfare. To date, government has launched a national plan of action against trafficking in persons. To operationalize the plan, this august House must amend the Trafficking of Persons Act. Other pending amendments include those that relate to the Immigration Act, Citizenship of Zimbabwe Act, National Archives of Zimbabwe Act, Private Investigators and Security Guards Control Act, Official Secrets Act, Unlawful Organization Act, Censorship and Entertainment Control Act, and Death Registration Act. Mr. Speaker and Madam President, in conclusion, address, I wish to commend both the National Assembly and the Senate for championing the diligent discharge of business in the last Parliament. Let me once again take this opportunity to urge all parliamentarians to wholeheartedly participate in the enactment of laws that will improve the quality of life of our people. Nika inova igodoma matiba nebenebaya. Ilizwe lakhiwa libuswe likulekelwe abanikazi balo. Hallelujah. This august house should ensure that law is an instrument for development. Further, Parliament is encouraged to be an institution of peace building, bringing up national development and the entrenchment of constitutionalism and deepening democratic practices in our motherland, Zimbabwe. In all our activities, let us safeguard our values, our traditions, as the unique people of Monomtapa in northern Zimbabwe. With continuity of purpose, we can accelerate our ongoing quest to build, modernize, and industrialize our great motherland, Zimbabwe. This weighty obligation is on our shoulders together. We must deliver and lift more of our people out of poverty and into prosperity. With these remarks, it is my distinct honor and privilege to wish the first session of the 10th Parliament of the Republic of Zimbabwe success. And I hereby declare the first session of the 10th Parliament of Zimbabwe officially open.
Sly Media TV, building bridges.